Okay, okay. So, yeah, okay, I guess we can start with this week's update. So you can go ahead, T, and then we can get the ball rolling.
Yeah, so thank you everyone for joining us today. To start off with some marketing updates, as we've been kind of discussing in last week's AMA that we were in, discussions with the marketing agency. We're glad to announce that we finally signed an agreement with them. The marketing firm is DWeb3. They're going to be responsible for influencer outreach and KOL management. They actually do have quite a long list of influencers that they're already in contact with and have deals with that they're going to be able to help us out with. And in addition to that, they're also going to be able to reach out to influencers that we specifically request out of those who they don't already work with. So how the process is going to work is that every time we do have an announcement or something to push, these influencers are going to be in the know, and we'll be able to work with DWeb3 to kind of decipher and see and pick and choose which specific influencers we want to work with and who we want to push out our announcements. So in addition to that, we've also introduced a creative lead. Uh, this creative uh, this creative lead is going to be responsible for helping us further develop the identity of the syndicate. Specifically the vampires, the backstory, and all that. Sort of just acting on the feedback we've received from the community that this hasn't been as clear, as we've kind of demonstrated. So we're hopefully introducing them very soon once their trial period is over, and we're fully confident in their abilities to creatively lead. So yeah, that's for marketing. And this also, just to mention, this doesn't conclude hiring and expansion of marketing. We're still, expanding and hiring. Just still looking for the right people.
Yes, very nice, very nice, very good, very good, very nice, T. Essentially, yes, for you guys who have been asking about marketing day in, day out, the Web3 are a crypto native platform. They've worked with tons of crypto projects, and you can see from their portfolio. And yeah, so essentially, we will be doing some KOL stuff with them. They've reached out. They will be reaching out to a lot of people, and then that shall be the process. Okay, so next one is an update for Mr. 2D Fam. So, okay, so the next one is about events. So it's just a reminder to everyone that we have been steadily planning for our first month of events. All of these will be taking place in the month of June. The highlights and takeaways for this will be that, we'll be having a NFT NYC. We'll be having a booth at NFT NYC, and alongside this, we're going to be doing something special, right, and unique for you guys. So, we're in talks with engaging and contracting a special food truck. Um, you know, I can't read this. Sorry, my screen. Okay, yeah, food truck who will customize their menu a little bit more specific to the vamps, fit the theme and stuff like that. So yes, and then essentially this will be completely separate from the NFT NYC booth itself, but it'll work alongside it. So as we get a little bit closer to the date, then we will be pushing out the finer details and the specifics on how to attend, what to do, and where it will be. Right. So for the champagne launch event, London, this will be taking place in London. It will be towards the end of June. We are very close to finalizing the details, such as the venue, the final date, how the flow in of the event will take place, and what it's going to be like, right? So the final details will be put in really soon. We are in talks with trying to close the deals with everything and get notable people involved and things like that, right? So, yep. So far, we've been working very closely with our very own champagne connoisseur, Space. Shamia, some of you guys may know him. So this has included like contacting other PR agencies and bigger names to get involved with the event to make it, as much of a marketing push as it is an enjoyable time for everyone, right? So things are looking extremely positive, and we can't wait to meet you guys in person. You'll be hearing the hello in person in just under 2 months. So yes, as soon as we have things finalized, we will be announcing it. And as we know that this is a big deal and big ticket event, we'll be making sure to push out all the dates at least 4 weeks beforehand, so you guys have time to plan.
Okay, so the next thing is on the Blood Shop. We just restocked that an hour ago before the AMA, so if you haven't checked it out today already, then be sure to check it out. A lot of the lower tier purchasable gift cards are the same as last week, especially the ones that sold out fastly. We wanted to give people a chance to get them if they missed out, as I know not everyone checks it out as soon as we replenish it. So be sure to keep using them and buying them as you see fit, because the more popular certain gift cards are, we'll make sure that they keep coming back. Alongside this, we're working on supporting more regions. I know a lot of them are still a majority US, just as we know they're some of the most popular ones. We don't want to pre-purchase gift cards for certain regions and stores that wouldn't end up being bought, but at the same time, even if you are in a niche region, we want to be able to give you things in the Blood Shop. So we are working on the best way where we can support as many regions and stores that people are going to be buying from. We also are trying to make the Blood Shop as automatic as possible. The first 3 weeks it's been quite a manual process, especially on the larger items, where we're contacting people to see what region they're from and things like that, which is great, and we're advancing on this, on being able to do it more slickly. But for the long term of the Blood Shop, we're trying to make it as automatic as possible. This way, because I have seen a lot of other projects who have similar Blood Shops, well, not Blood Shops, but things where they can purchase with their token. They're always pretty stacked after the shop comes out, but then over the coming weeks and months, it's a smaller amount of items that appear within the shop, and this isn't what we want to happen with the Blood Shop. We want it to be almost every 7 days there's a brand new set of items in the shop. So we're working on making it as automatic as possible, and this will also mean as soon as you purchase the item, you'll get the code or the item almost immediately, because we know there is a small waiting period right now. So that's our aim with the Blood Shop, and for next week we do plan to have the bidding and NFTs in there. I know this week it's still mostly the physical items and the gift cards. So next week we are 100% going to have NFTs in there. So obviously there will be SVS NFTs in there, but we're planning to have some others. So be sure to head to community suggestions and suggest other projects, NFTs that you want to see in the Blood Shop, and we'll make some of those happen. And similarly, upvote those suggestions you see of people's you like, because it'll be the most upvoted suggestions that we put in ready for next week.
If you guys want some maybe more peculiar, specific, maybe funny community related stuff for the Blood Shop, right? You can also make suggestions for that, right? They don't necessarily have to be tied in with items per se, right? If you want a audiobook chapter by 2D Vamp, or you want to get intoxicated AMA with a Rion in London, this is also doable. Just make it a suggestion, and then we can go on from there. Okay. Trial Tattoo Bloodshot. Well, that is very doable. Okay, so I saw that trial. Okay, so next one is LairTV. Okay. So we had our second ever episode of LairTV yesterday. This was done on Twitter Spaces. It was done with none other than the NanoPass and BF Parody co-founder Bushido. So this was personally, I think this was a great conversation, great chat, great AMA. LairTV needs video stream, RoboB. That might be a little bit difficult, with how people in this space function. But anyway, okay, so we recorded the episode yesterday, and we will be uploading it alongside today's AMA straight after, within the hour after we conclude today's session, right? So it was a great chat, I think, great guest as well. He's a very smart guy, So am I. But yes, so essentially it would be good for everyone to give it a listen, and we can go on from there. Okay, so LairTV has been a success, I would say, so far, and we're extremely happy to see that a lot of you guys are enjoying it as well and are loving it. It is a positive experience for everyone, I think, involved. To be able to get influential people on board and just people who have experience in the space, and then have a chat and have everyone learn from the experience, right? So the whole reason we try to push it so much is that because we think Twitter is the best place for this. So naturally, both communities can get involved, and then we can, kind of engage with more people from there, right? And gets additional exposure for SVS. So we're always open to suggestions, So feel free to shoot us a DM, or if you know anyone who is a guest that wants to hop on LairTV, and have a chat with none other than 2D and the boys. Rick, I whispered, I said Bushido is a very smart guy, then I whispered, so am I. So it's a good chat, good listen, 2D ASMR. Yes, we might put some 2D stuff in the Blood Shop if any of you guys want it. Same with some Rion stuff, I think, and also some Freddy stuff if you want. Maybe
we can
like
have him talk. How about that?
Yes. I think 100 blood for 1 minute of Freddy speaking. I think this is great.
And we
I
can
love
pull
you, Corey.
together for
Thank
a
you
TED
for.
talk.
Yes. Would you guys like to hear Freddy's story of how he came up to become the world's biggest dev? I think this is very bullish. Okay,
Oh
so
my God.
okay, next one on UT.
Yeah, so with the merch, last week I mentioned that COVID has kind of slowed down the process. It is still the same deal. We're still kind of working around, the factory and are with our manufacturing partner. However, we have received some samples for the cut, and so we received a video walkthrough for the hoodie sample, and we've already sent them back our feedback for kind of like revisions on that and how we want to handle that. And we should be receiving walkthroughs for other merch items as well, like T-shirts, and sweats, and even some other items. Yeah, COVID is still apparently it's still a thing in China. There's still some stuff going on over there. So we should have an update very soon, but we did do our video walkthroughs, and we look forward to keeping you guys updated.
And then the final thing is on the sneaky snapshot airdrop, which I know is in a few of the Slido questions and has been in the chat today. So we should just address this now, that although we're not putting out the details within this AMA now, people should perhaps check their wallets after the AMA finishes today. Keep an eye on
Eye
announcements later
emoji.
today.
Yep.
Eye emoji, tombstone emoji, watch.
Watch, eye emoji, tombstone emoji, Freddy's watch has 100 extra links emoji. Yes, so essentially, that's it for the updates, right? Airdropped. Watch, eye emoji, watch, eye emoji, eye emoji. Okay, yes, essentially that is it. Josh, do you have any updates you want to give the masses before we continue to the Slido? Oh, well, oh, well, that was short-lived. Hello, Josh Krashenstein, are you here, my friend?
Hello.
Okay, yeah, I said if there's any updates you want to give them before we move on.
Oh, my bad. Sorry about that.
Oh, yeah, you can do it now, I guess.
Yeah, so we are still have a lot of people playing the beta. There's still over, even though there's less updates happening because we're getting closer to the end of everything. We have still at 50 active players roughly a day, which is really still good numbers because there hasn't been a lot that's been changing on the front end of stuff. We just added in a score system, so now you can take screenshots of your score right when you die, and you can brag on the Lair chat and be bullish on how good your score is. And outside of that, we're going to be moving into leaderboards very soon, and we have to fix a couple things that are looming over it before the game is fully complete, and then we're good to go.
Perfect. Yes, that is very bullish. Something I haven't said in a while. So thank you so much, Josh. And I think next we will do the proposals, and then we shall go on to the Slido.
Okay, so yeah, there were 7 proposals that reached quorum within the last week, which Dalman Thrall has very nicely put together. So we're going to quickly go over these because a lot of people liked it last week when we gave the quick update in the AMA. So the first one is using Twitter to highlight SVS. This reached with 95% in favour, asking that we use the Twitter for promotions, leaks and generating more hype instead of as a giveaway account. So this is definitely something that we thought about for a while, and it's something we've wanted to do, and a lot of people might have seen on Twitter that we set up a separate giveaway account. The problem is that while the SVS account is so huge and the giveaway account is so small, a lot of the giveaways and alpha whitelists require it that we tweet it from the main account, but this is definitely something that we want to do, get it more that the giveaways are happening on the giveaway account and that we're using the main account to highlight SVS. The second one is an off-chain blood shop. This hit a vote of 99% in favour, which is great news. And this suggests to make the blood shop fully off-chain so that you can spend from your pending rewards and not just your claimed blood. Thankfully, with the blood rework being 100% on Polygon, this is already a direction that we're taking because it's one of our goals to minimise costs as much as possible, and that's why the whole entire idea of the new blood rework is that it's going to be on Polygon. So this is definitely something that's great to be in favour, because that's something that we've been planning to do with the whole blood rework. The third thing was blood betting, which 85% of the votes were in favour of this. This suggests that we let people gamble with blood on events such as UFC or how long the AMA lasts, or anything that people see fit. It would allow people to put up votes and bets that people can take. In order to make this secure, this would obviously be run through the Dash, where it's all obviously above board, where people would put their blood in, and then after which it would be distributed to the winners. And this is definitely a great idea and something that's been brought up since SVS began, and something we can definitely look into doing on the dashboard. And then the fourth one was a perfect pair proposal, and this was voted in favour as well. And this asks that we allow the perfect pair benefits to be available to anyone who owns a perfect pair, and not just those who minted them. This was already the case, and all that mattered was that you held a perfect pair at the time that the snapshot was taken. It didn't matter if you minted them or transferred them or bought them, so everyone was included in this, and maybe there'll be a bit more information later tonight exactly on this perfect pairs, and everyone who has one will be able to see that in their wallet.
Thank you, Rion. I shall do the next few proposals, but I do think the blood betting would be awesome. First one should be a fight between me and Freddie and see who would win. Yes, yes, oh yes. Okay, the fifth one is SVS merge quality, 97%. Wanted better merge quality than our last run, and so do we. So we're working with better materials and designers this time around, and we'll be keeping you guys updated on the progress. We're hoping to have a very high level of quality for this, and yes, we know Freddie needs to be very comfy in this merge, right? Also, we need custom sizing. So yes, okay. The sixth one is Bloodbag Tweaks. This got 94% of vote in favor. Requests are that we alter the blood bags in a few ways, such as changing the blood yield from devouring, changing the blood yield from devouring, sending off unclaimed blood to lonely vampiresses, and raising royalty payments towards the blood bank to help sustain it. With the final blood rework that's just coming around the corner, we hope you liked the decisions and implementations that we have made. But everyone's input has been very helpful, and this is definitely stuff that we will take into account. Damn, what's this Freddy violating me in chat? That's not very nice, guys. Okay, the seventh one is to remove the 2-week claim period. So, while this did meet the quorum, the votes were split right down the middle, and neither side passed 50%. It's essentially the same as the name implies. Some want us to remove the 2-week time withdrawal for claiming blood bags. This has been an ongoing debate since we have ever kind of pushed the idea, and we're trying to come to an arrangement that makes both sides happy. Okay. Before we move on, Rion, I think, do we want to do something? Maybe fail. Do we want to do the fail to meet the quorum?
I think there are only 3 this week. We don't want to take up too much time, so maybe people can just check them on the snapshot for the ones that didn't quite meet the quorum this week.
Yep. So okay, so I think what we're going to do now is we're going to go into the Slido. We're going to go into the Slido now. And then if we're going to do a couple Slido questions, if you guys want to have your hands up, get them up so we can have a chat with you guys. If you don't have a question, you just want to say something, you just want to chat with us, hang out with us, we can go from there. But yes, before we continue, I just wanted everyone to wish K Bala good luck. He's at the he's at his eye appointment now. He's been struggling with some health issues recently. It's quite rare condition that he's suffering with. So we are hoping, I've been speaking to this guy for a long time now, many months, and we're hoping that it's all the best and everything goes well for you, K Bala. So yes, all our energy is with you. Okay. So next one, we're gonna go with this leader, okay, everyone? And I have my first question for Rion. What happened to the blood rework? I understand it getting delayed a day or two, but why a full week? And is the new deadline actually attainable?
Yeah, so Freddie did post an update about this in team updates, and we touched on it earlier. But it is most definitely attainable, and it's most definitely doable. That it's going to come out this Sunday. We were planning to originally push it last Sunday, but after we got some comments after we pushed the dashboard, people obviously wanted it to be 100% ready with no bugs before it came out. 2D, your mic is kind of putting me off.
Oh, I apologize.
Yeah, so we did want to push it out, but we didn't want to make sure there were any bugs first. There were a few last minute tweaks and a few last minute additions that we came up with that we thought would be very cool when it comes to the blood bags and how you open them and how the prizes are distributed. Plus, with the way that the blood bags are going to work, being on the 1st and the 15th of the month, we thought it was a very apt date to change it to the 1st, so that the day that it released would be the day that people would start getting their blood bags. Otherwise, it wouldn't have really made sense then a week before. If we'd have pushed it last Sunday, it wouldn't have been the 1st of the month, so essentially everyone would have been waiting until the 1st anyway. The next question for 2D is, sick idea for the food truck, but will Freddy be banned? He would eat all of the food. It would be very unfair.
Yes. Am I still in a tornado, or is it okay?
No, it's okay now.
Okay. So the question was something about Freddy and eating all the food, right? Yes, food truck is awesome idea. Freddy will actually, yes, in fact, be banned. We might end up losing all the blood bank funds if we allow him to go. So unfortunately, not he shall not be in attendance. But yes, I hope everyone else enjoys the food truck, though. I think it shall be should be good fun.
Yeah, good fun, motherfuckers.
Sorry.
Maybe you
Okay,
can come
next
in as a
question.
burner, because usually when people get banned, they can just come back on a burner. So maybe you should do that.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Or Freddy can sponsor some of the food himself. Okay, so next question for Rion. With the first blood bag drops incoming, can you provide any details on what NFTs might be included in some of the drops and what percentage drop chance is?
So yeah, these aren't exactly teasers that we're going to be given on the AMA today now, but as we mentioned last week as well, that once the blood rework drops on Sunday and the blood bags start to happen, we're going to post a full detailed Medium article on exactly how it works. I know the original one was just mainly a detail on how it's going to happen, but it didn't specifically have any sort of numbers, especially when it comes to how much of a bonus people are going to get for rares, how many bonuses people will get for having perfect pairs, for example. So this Medium article on Sunday will have those numbers, so people can see exactly what they can expect from the blood bags, and then if you've got your SVS family, the blood boost as well. One thing I will say, similar to earlier, is if you do know any specific collections you would like to be seeing NFTs from in the blood bag, be sure to put them in the community suggestions, because although we've already got a few of our close friends projects that we're going to be including along with SVS NFTs, of course, we want to be putting in NFTs that the community want as well. So be sure to head to the community suggestions, put them in, and we're going to use some of them NFTs not only in the blood bag but also to add to the blood shop starting next week as well.
Yes, I see someone said Bored Ape. Yeah, just for 15 billion blood, I think that is very doable. Okay, so next question I have for Freddy. When is Freddy going to figure out the blood rework instead of figuring out how to hang his rock somewhere?
Jeez, damn. Well, I see someone wasn't here last week when I explained what was delayed. So it is coming this Sunday. Yeah. And see you also following my Twitter, so thanks for that. Just trying to be more active, you know?
Well, yes. That is true. Yes, I do agree. Monsieur, that Murakami pillow is very nice.
No.
And yes, I do think someone was not here last week, clearly. And yes, hope you are enjoying all the increased activity from Freddie and me. Okay.
Okay, the next question is, how sustainable is the Blood Shop long term? Where's the 10 to 15k a week coming from to fund the prizes when sales, volume and royalties are low at the minute?
So far as it stands, when we had the idea for the blood shop, we did think that it is definitely it is sustainable, right? And if we feel or see that things are changing in the long term and that it is not so sustainable anymore, we will be adjusting it accordingly and updating you guys with what we think would be the best way to change it going forward, right? So essentially, as it stands right now, we did think that we wanted to reward you guys, and it's been so cool seeing how much some of you guys, how much some of you guys have been enjoying winning some of these prizes, and stuff like that. So it's a good example of this is gentle royalties go directly into the blood bank. This can be altered. We can increase the percentage and do stuff like that. So yes. Oh, unfortunately, Nico with the 6 fire emojis has kind of spoiled Rion's future announcement.
Yeah, I
Damn.
guess people have a 30 minutes heads up now before we announce after the AMA.
Yeah, okay, well, looks like it's only 135 of you guys who know. Okay, next question I have for Rion is I am Europe and see a lot of things are USA focused. Do you have any plans for real life things in Europe? So could you please address the continent of Europe who found a keyboard and ask the question on Slido, please?
Yeah, so this is something we've thought about for a while as well, especially because we're all spread around the world. Obviously, only T is from the US on our team, and everyone's spread across many continents. I am Europe. Must be Freddie who asked this question then. But yeah, definitely this is something we want to do, along with the community events we've mentioned over the last few weeks, where some of our most known community members in their cities, states, countries will be setting up smallly hosted events where not necessarily the team members will be there, but it will be funded by us. So if you want to go out for drinks, if you want to go and play golf, if you want to go and do a small activity, there'll be small vamp meetups. But alongside this, we've obviously got our champagne launch event, which will be happening in London. So although I Am Europe may get there, that's going to be our first one in the UK. But yeah, we do plan to have plenty around Europe. Obviously, the first two are going to be London and New York. But the plan is that every vamp would be able to visit one, as we're aiming to get as close to everyone as possible.
Yeah, even though Brexit means Brexit, you can kind of count London as Europe. So most of you guys can head over there. Brexit does mean Brexit. We got to keep Freddie on. Okay.
Okay, the next question is, with new vamps to be flooding the market after the blood rework, we should reward rarity via alpha or some other way. We need to encourage trading volume and value for the solid vamps.
Okay, so this is something that we have seen be concerned or brought up a couple of times now recently with some of the rarer vamps, and I do think incentivizing rarer vamps or quote unquote more solid vamps is is a good idea in itself. But yes, this is it's a decent suggestion. So you guys can just, if you feel strongly about this, you can put it into snapshot or make a proposal or something like that, and then we can see how it is treated. And then, but definitely on our end, it's something that we are planning as well to incentivize the rarer vamps and kind of give them a little bit more value, right? I see you're listening, Apollo. That one is was for you. Okay. Okay, next question I have for Rion is I am excited for Apoyo. Damn, man called me dumbass. Okay, never mind. I'm excited for the blood rework this weekend. Do you have any teasers?
Yeah, so Freddie did put a few teasers in the team updates earlier this week, but we do want to keep a few things under wraps. I know a lot of people have been asking how they're going to be able to select their families and how exactly will the blood bags open. So we do have some cool things for that, which is one of the main reasons that they didn't come out last Sunday. But obviously we don't want to spoil everything before Sunday. So we're only a few days now, and we may post another teaser as we get within a couple of days. Our first plan is to obviously, as a few people have already seen, get the perfect pair airdrop out and then tell everybody what the prize is and what to expect for the reveal and the tiers on that. And then after we've got the reveal for that out and it gets to the weekend just before the blood rework drops, we'll be posting another teaser, we'll post the Medium article, and we'll post some more closer details with screenshots on exactly how the blood bags and blood boosts are going to work.
Okay, am I muted? Okay, I'm not muted. Okay, so next question. I shall just read out to myself. We still haven't received a reward or even more info on the snapshot we waited 2 months for. How is the snapshot reward not ready? What's going on? Well, some of you guys have traveled 30 minutes into the future before the announcement has gone off and already seen that you have received your perfect pair airdrops. So yes, obviously Slido is done before the start, but this was something that we had already planned. So yes, we will be making the full announcement in about 25 minutes. But yes, the snapshot airdrop has already gone out, and we announced a little bit more last week about how it's going to work with the rarities. So yeah, can't wait for you guys to see all the ones that you do like. I can't wait to see who gets the super rare ones. And I can't wait to see if you guys like the prizes or not. Hello, BK. Nice to see you. I haven't seen you in a while, eh? Okay, next one, Rion. SVS seems to ignore posting on Twitter. Not just likes, retweets, or whitelist. Where are the SVS tweets about the project and all the benefits / utility for holders?
Yep, this is, I believe this was from M. Barton, so it's nice to hear from not Mr. Anonymous. But this is definitely something we've been considering over the last few weeks as well, especially since we set up the SVS Alpha account. We did try and set up the SVS Alpha account sooner to move the giveaways away, but a lot of the projects that we were approaching for Alpha were saying that that the whole point that they want to give us so many spots is because of some of the exposure and some of the tweets they'll get. So we're almost forced our hand into keeping on the normal Twitter, but we have started posting a few of these giveaways on the other account, and hopefully as that gets larger and larger, we'll be able to move a larger proportion over to that account. But apart from that, we do definitely hear that. We've seen a lot of people saying the likes of, one of our favourite quotes of the week is, SVS is the best project that nobody knows about. So this is definitely one of the comments that stuck with us, and we want to be able to be pushing out not only new announcements but perhaps some of the older announcements. I know when we've done this in the past, people are saying, why are you reminding us on this? We already know this. I know especially the people listening to this AMA, if we're going to be pushing out tweets about perfect pairs and the blood shop and things like that, it can get very repetitive. But obviously from an outsider standpoint, we want to be letting people know exactly what's happening, and that's something that we've got a few plans in for, be that refresher Medium articles, some more tweets, some graphics, some overview videos and things like that. So not necessarily just about our new features, but to keep reminding people about what we've pushed in the past as well, and everything that SVS has done within the past 8 or so months.
Very nice.
The next question is from Mr. Anonymous, and he says, why is the blood shop so awesome? It's incredible what prizes you offer. Love it. Bullish on blood. Blood.
Yeah. Thank you for the nice message. I will violate you a little bit. You said incredible what prices. It's actually prizes. But yes, I do think that makes us super happy. This is essentially what it's all about. We just want to give back to you guys. And it's so cool. I think we personally think it's cool to see how many of you guys were winning, like some of these cool items, PS5s, trips to Disney World, stuff like that. And seeing put it on Twitter, I think it's awesome, and it does make me very happy. This goes in. Let me just answer this one I saw from Katara. I see you in Lair chat all the time. Katara said, I love that 2D Vamp announced that he'll be more active on Twitter and follows us Vamps. It does a lot when the founders are active. Gujira Lamaverse and stuff like that. So yes, thank you. You know, it is something that we are all actively trying to do a little bit more. As you can see with Freddie posting his nice rug and little apartment room on Twitter. So yes, follow us on follow us on Twitter as we just try to communicate more with you guys and just hang out. And MJM, if you are listening, you asked the question: will we be able to choose bats, vamps, and vampiresses? We want each family for a bag claim. Big Boy Freddy Dev said answer to that is yes. Answer is yes. Okay, first T. I have a question for T, and then I'll go on to maybe one or two more with Rion for Slido. And if there are any hands up, we will attend to those. If not, we'll just call it a day. You guys have heard a lot of my voice over the last 24 hours anyway, right? So question for T from Ignis. Also shout out Ignis. I see you in chat every day. Hello. Oh, he says hello. True 2D fan. When will we hear more about marketing?
Yeah, so I mean, we obviously had like two great updates today on marketing. The first being our contract with DWeb3 for influencer outreach, and the other being our trial period that we're currently on with a creative lead. So those are two great updates there. But like I mentioned earlier, that doesn't mean that that doesn't conclude all the stuff that we're doing for marketing. So we will be still working on bringing people on. And improving the overall process, but even at a faster pace than before. So stay tuned.
Okay, so the next question is any more information about NFT NYC? What about the after party? Will there be any ticket giveaways or discounts? Maybe you could collab with Nano for the after party.
Yes. So speaking of collabing and Nano and stuff like that, for some of you guys who did tune into yesterday's amazing LairTV episode, we did mention that SVS will be doing a game night with BF Party. So, same co-founder as NanoPass, same co-founder as BF Party. Their game is awesome. We will be doing a game night demo, game nights with them. So, I see that you guys are enjoying the game nights quite a lot. You like the prizes that we give out. The Smash Cards one was super fun. So essentially, yes. So to answer the question, with the game night, you can win some, BF Party allocation slots, some ETH, some stuff like that. So we'll be announcing that soon. So yes, so with the information about NFT NYC, so we're finalizing everything we can, right now about NFT NYC, and then once we have a little bit more details, we will push it forward, right? So essentially right now we have the booth and then we have the food truck with a little bit more custom feel for the vamps, the holders, and I think that will be quite a strong attraction for people who are not involved in the project to get exposure to it as well. For some of you guys are saying, will there be an after party? If you guys are interested in something like that, for sure, we're definitely down to 100% down to try and make that happen for you guys. Will there be any ticket giveaways / discounts? That is something we can also definitely work on and involve you guys with for for the NFT NYC and New York meetup. Collab with Nano for the after party. We are good friends with Bushido, Nano co-founder, and BF Party in general. So it's something that we can definitely reach out for, and then go on from there. Meta, will all the founders be at NFT NYC? We are trying to work that out right now for sure, but some of us will be at the events this year for sure. So okay. So you guys, if you guys want to have a chat with us and speak to us, could you please get your hands up right now? We're just going to go through one more Slido question. I'm going to ask the boy Rion, and then we can go on from there. So, okay, the last question says, what if my DMs are disabled on Discord? Maybe you can give them a little bit of context for this, Rion,
Yeah,
as
I
well.
assume that this is with the Blood Shop, which is actually a very good question because although most of the first come first serve gift cards come instantly or almost instantly through the dash, some of the larger ones are more of a manual process. Like I mentioned earlier, a lot of the larger ones where they have the week raffle are done manually. Obviously we have to contact you. We don't really know what region you're from just from your eth address in Discord, so it's more of a contact and more of a manual thing. But then a few people who I have tried to DM for the larger prizes have had them closed. This is rightly so as well. It's always sensible to have your DMs closed. So what we are going to plan to do as well as trying to integrate it more within the dashboard, is when Freddie announces the winners in team updates every week, we will open a channel and add everyone who wins to that channel. So we don't necessarily want to tag people in the update. I know a few people said, can we not know who won? But we don't really want to be tying people's eth addresses to their Discord names publicly. People might not want that. But what we will do is we'll open a channel separately so that winners will be able to contact in the channel within the SVS Discord if they're a winner, if their DMs are closed. But up to now, the first 2 weeks, we did manage to get hold of everyone in the end, and everyone's got their prizes on the way. I know there are a few prizes that we announced yesterday, some of the larger ones who we haven't got to contacting yet. So if one of them people are you, don't worry, we will be contacting you and trying to get the prize out. But from next week as well, if you do have your DMs closed, don't worry, we will make sure that people are getting their prizes. We don't want people to miss out just because they're being sensible and having their DMs closed.
Yes. I couldn't have said it any better myself, Rayon. That's why you're the man for the job. Okay, so we have one hand up as of right now. If that's how it stays, we will just go through that. And then we shall call it a day, night, or if you're in the same time zone as 2D Vamp, it will be calling it a morning. So yes, Ethiqual, is that how I pronounce your name?
Yeah. This is not the first time, actually.
Yeah, I definitely remember you because we struggled with your name as well at first.
Yeah,
What's up, dude?
What's up? How are you guys?
Good, how are you?
Fine, cool. Cross, how's it going?
Yeah, man.
Okay, guys. So I just have a few pointers I wanted to ask/share with you. First of all, I wanted to acknowledge that you guys are doing everything right. I mean, it's amazing what you've been doing. So I wanted to get that out of the way first, because I'm not going to be I'm not going to critique you, but I do have some concerns I want to share. So I was actually looking at OpenSea, and there's right now, if I'm not mistaken, there's 295 over there. That sounds like really not too many, yet the floor, well, the floor is to cry for. So I keep thinking, what can we do to actually raise floor? Because you can do everything right, and we can keep grinding and pushing forward, but if eventually price doesn't budge, it's even harder for people to actually turn their heads and look at us. So I am quite worried about floor. But then at the same time, I see we only have 295 posted there, and I'm thinking to myself, why aren't we doing some kind of sweeping? And I know already, because I've asked already, that you guys can't actually sweep floors on OpenSea. But hey, I mean, there's always ways to actually do something like that. Like find a dude with some ETH and get an agreement with him. Hey man, just sweep the 10 floors and we'll do something in the future. I don't know. I'm just saying maybe we need to work more actively upon sweeping that floor, because it's crazy that a project this quality is sitting at 0.3 ETH. It's absolutely nuts to me, and probably to everybody here. So that was the first thing. I was actually thinking on something like giving for I don't know, a certain amount of time, giving extra blood for any floor vamp that is actually swept. Like instead of the usual, I don't remember now, the 4 blood right now before the rework. maybe just give 6, I don't know, for a month or something, just to make sure people gets really incentivized to actually
Yeah,
go
so
for those floors.
yes, maybe what we can do is, we can kind of tie something along that idea and those lines. Something along the lines of like, well, we can include blood bag boosts. If you haven't
Yeah,
listed your vamp for X amount of time,
yeah.
or something like that, right? So I think
Mhm.
definitely that is it is a good point, and we definitely notice it, right? So
Yeah,
we understand that it can be a good idea to say like when sweep the floor and stuff like that, but it's never it's a tough situation for us long term as well. So if you guys think that sweeping the floor is like something that you think would be best for the project, then maybe like a proper proposal with the pros and the cons and stuff like that of the sweep, and then we can
yeah,
have a look. But definitely, what we definitely will do is we definitely will be, because we have the blood rework coming, and then we will be pushing marketing with the influencers and stuff like that as well. What we're going to be trying to do is trying to include incentivization for people in the blood bag boosts for people, right? So maybe
yeah,
something like having requirements for them to get additional boosts or in blood or stuff like that, right? So maybe if they I don't know what you guys feel about it, but it could be anything simple, right? Like list above X ETH, right? And
Mhm.
you unlock X amount of blood in your next blood bag boost, right? Maybe buy X, sweep X amount of amps before the next blood bag, and you also get some sort of blood bag boost, right? I think that's maybe what you're talking about. So like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
we kind of just like incentivize people a little bit to be more active and aggressive, right? And in return, that we will also reward the guys who do it by giving them more in the blood bag every 2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. Get creative with the blood token, which is already having a lot of traction. And just taking advantage of that. And yeah, you could even, I don't know, just on the top of my head, you could even add like a $20 Amazon card for the first, I don't know, 10 uh, bumps out of the floor, for example.
Yeah, like the
I
first,
don't know.
like yeah, before the next blood bag claim, like
Yeah,
the first 20 vamps that get bought,
yeah, yeah,
they get a bonus, right? It's like
absolutely.
I don't know if you guys like when you play a video game, right? The weekly bonuses and stuff like that, right?
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, so same kind of concept is something that we've been thinking about as well with the blood rework. So definitely. So I think basic, maybe some of you guys. So definitely, if you guys have other ideas, you can let us know. But for the base ones, maybe like something that I think would be maybe listing X amount of floor. I think definitely the best one is like you said, right? Like before the next blood bag claim, the first X amount of people to buy X amount of amps, like get a big bonus, right? So yeah, definitely something like that would be super cool.
Awesome,
Thank you.
awesome. No, no, for sure. And the other thing that I wanted to actually kind of ask is that, I mean, I've been trying to get into the raffles. I really, really want the Mac Studio, for example. But the thing is, I've already spent all my Polygon blood, my P blood. It's gone. So I have a fairly big amount of new blood, which I get daily. But it kind of sucks to actually have to pay close to $100 right now, when next week it should be free, but I'm not sure. Is it going to be free? Are you going to just like move all our ETH blood to P blood? And if so, maybe ask for you to actually increase the time for those raffles up till after the rework is done, so I don't have to pay like $100 to try and win $100 Amazon card.
Yeah,
Well, buy
that's
an
definitely
Amazon card.
Yeah, that's definitely a good question. That's something we actually considered before we put out the updated Blood Shop today, because we know that usually they run for 7 days, and in around 4 or so days, we'll be changing to the Blood rework. So we
Yeah,
were thinking about pushing them back, but obviously we didn't want almost a week where there was nothing in the Blood Shop. So if this is what people want, we can definitely increase them, maybe from 7 days to 10 days, so that people can enter almost within the first 5 days. If you've got blood now already claimed, then obviously it's no problem for people to enter now, but maybe for the people that are waiting for Sunday, we could increase it by a few days, so that those people can enter as well. But Freddie did mention in the chat before, so I'm just going to read this out in case people missed it, that on Sunday there's going to be a snapshot taken to fetch final blood balances, including the pending blood balance. So then the blood bridge will be turned off because we're going to be only using Polygon with the new blood system. After that, you'll be able to unstake. We'll be refunding all staking fees, and then we will be obviously changing everything over to Polygon. So if you do have pending blood now, obviously it's not really sensible for you to claim it to buy $100 gift card like you said. So perhaps we will extend them by maybe 3 days, so that they end at the end of next week, so that people have plenty of days after the blood rework to be entering them as well. Because I know, especially for the high tier items, a lot of people will want to get their entries in, but may not want to necessarily go claim their pending blood a few days before the rework.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly my point. So awesome, guys. That was pretty much all I had. And I'll be here. I'll keep grinding with you guys. I hope nothing but the best. I'm really, really deeply invested in this project. So anything I can do to help. Many of the team guys know me already, Mig, Grass, and whatever. I'm always here for whatever the project needs.
And it's been a while since you came up, so it always makes me happy to speak to someone who's been supporting us for a long time. So thank you, man. It means a lot, and we're always happy to listen to you guys' ideas and bounce along and see what we can come up with.
Awesome. Take care, guys.
You too, brother. Hello, Laura Dion.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, nice voice you have there, by the way.
Thank you for having me up. I've also been a long-term investor in the project. Actually joined during the mint, so I've loved seeing this project grow. And I'm a firm believer that it's easy for a team when everything's going right, but you really start to see the mettle of the team and the talent when you have to do pivots. And I'm feeling very bullish on the project, seeing everything that you guys are coming up with. So thank you for that. I just wanted to ask a quick question. I don't want to kind of dig up old ghost here, but there was a post that Book Nerd made a while back that kind of resonated with me, and it was about the target audience for SVS, and he mentioned something about vampire groups, Vampire the Masquerade, things that are not NFT adjacent even or crypto adjacent, but are entirely new markets. And that got me thinking, as a project, it's really uniquely positioned, like the IP of the vampires. There's no other NFT that's doing it this well, right? With the art, with the whole culture that you guys have built. And I'm curious how much you guys have thought about perhaps branching out, using SVS as an opportunity to onboard what we'd call normies, right? People that are not in the crypto space, not in the NFT space, but do have an affinity for the IP for vampires. I think there's a very unique opportunity there, and it's not necessarily dealing with our immediate issues, but it's more forward thinking in terms of, we say that we're early to this space. Let's position ourselves to really succeed when the space blows up. And Coinbase, for instance, starts onboarding people. So just wondering what your guys' thoughts is around that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I know exactly what you're referring to. The main issue that we kind of see, you're obviously correct. The main issue that we do see with introducing or trying to target those specific audiences who aren't native to Web3 is that outside in the outside world, NFTs aren't as mainstream as it might seem. As we're all kind of stuck in this little Twitter bubble. Everybody is ecstatic about NFTs. It's not so easy to convert a non Web3 native person into the NFT game. Correct? When buying an NFT, especially of like a vampire, could cost 2 weeks of their salary. It's not the most ideal thing or audience that we want to target. I do agree, however, with that sort of sentiment, we're right now we're working on introducing, like we mentioned earlier, a creative lead, someone who can further help build that identity around the vampires. And, it's sort of something that's been mentioned in Lair, and we do hear it. So this person is going to step in and help us build that identity out and really give a story behind the vampires, which will hopefully, with our direction, our main point was that we want to relate to as many people as possible, right? The big thing is we want to relate to as many Web3 native people. So taking that into consideration, they're going to develop this, and that is going to sort of fix that issue of attracting new people to SVS and really appealing to wider audiences. And
Yeah, just
in addition
sorry.
to,
No, I was just going to say as a counterpoint to that, one of the things to consider is the gaming space, right? I'm not a vampire like aficionado by any means, but I noticed that Vampire the Masquerade is starting to create blockchain games. So they're starting to onboard their actual community, and it's a very large community. So something like that the gaming space is going to be the natural bridge that's going to bring the people who are looking at NFTs as something, one, that they can't afford, or two, that they don't like for XYZ reasons. I can see it. Go on.
Yeah, sorry. It comes down to the viability of it. For instance, we did our collab with Scream. Vampires aside, just NFTs in general. Scream almost, they kind of sort of had to pull back from commitments because of how their audience reacted. Their audience of Web2 native people who were very against NFTs, even though our themes, obviously vampires and Scream aren't, hand in hand, but there are still some references there too. So just kind of going off of that, and how even like we've even mentioned on LairTV, we've gotten on calls with Web2 brands, even big ones, and the calls kind of don't really get anywhere because they're scared to get into NFTs, and B, they're kind of clueless. So I do agree, there is that curiosity out there of people getting into NFTs, like you mentioned, with that game, and even the gaming space in general. But if we're looking at what's viable, it's much better for us to kind of focus on the NFT space in the current market and kind of attracting the holders that we want. Do you kind of get what I mean there?
Yeah, and with that being said, though, I do think what you're saying about the gaming space, that is a largely untapped group and audience that we can definitely have a work towards getting into, right? And definitely that is also on the agenda as we progress further down the line. Ideally, I think it would be personal goal. I think it would be amazing to be able to integrate and work with some big games, out there. Maybe it's something as simple as a couple SVS skins, a couple of vampire bonuses and stuff like that. So definitely that's something that we're pushing for as well, where it is possible to try and get into that area as well. But I think T summed it up perfectly there.
Fair enough. I don't know if I necessarily agree, but I'll agree to disagree.
Okay. Well, I guess that works. So we're actually over time today. So I think, let me see if there's any more hands up. There, in fact, is not any more hands up. So I think that will be it for today, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's AMA. You had 2 days back to back of, 1 hour of goodness. For those of you who paid attention during the AMA, eye emoji, tombstone emoji, you would have seen something popped up in chat. If not, keep an eye out for the announcement tab soon, right now. And then, yes, exactly. There should be a nice little surprise for you guys, So definitely, I think, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. It has been a great fun time from yesterday's Tour Spaces to today's AMA. As always, just a quick reminder, the Blood rework will be coming this Sunday, if I'm not wrong. And as always, appreciate you guys. Always happy to speak to you guys. And how do we close it? Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.